Introduction. A timeless tale of faith, the book of Job, a powerful story found in the Old Testament. It speaks of faith tested, it speaks of resilience. Job's journey resonates even today. It reminds us we are not alone in suffering. Section 2, Job, a man of integrity and prosperity. Job was a righteous man. He was blameless. He feared God. He shunned evil. Job was blessed abundantly. His life was a testament to his unwavering faith and moral integrity. He lived his life in accordance with divine principles, always striving to do what was right in the eyes of the Lord. He had a loving family. He had great wealth. His household was filled with joy and prosperity. Job's children were his pride and joy, and his wealth was a reflection of his hard work and God's favor. His livestock and servants were numerous, and his lands were fertile and bountiful. He was respected by all. His community looked up to him for guidance and wisdom. Job's reputation as a man of integrity was well known, and people sought his counsel in times of need. His words carried weight, and his actions were always just and fair. Job was grateful for God's blessings. He never ceased to give thanks for the abundance in his life. His prayers were filled with gratitude, and he always acknowledged the source of his prosperity. Job's faith was unwavering, and his devotion to God was evident in every aspect of his life. He never took them for granted. Job understood that everything he had was a gift from God. He cherished his blessings and lived a life of humility and thankfulness. His heart was always filled with appreciation for the life he was given. He was a shining example of faith and obedience. Job's life was a beacon of hope and inspiration for those around him. He led by example, teaching his family and community the importance of living a righteous life. His legacy of faith and integrity continues to inspire generations. Section 3. The unthinkable happens. Job's world turns upside down. One day, tragedy struck. Job lost everything. His livestock gone, his children taken from him, his wealth wiped out. Job himself was struck with a painful illness. Job was devastated. His friends and family were baffled. Why would such misfortune befall a righteous man? Section 4. Why me? Job questioned his fate. He lamented his misfortune, but he never cursed God. Even in his anguish, he held on to his faith. He questioned God's plan, but never his goodness. This unwavering faith is at the heart of Job's story. Section 5. A lesson in perseverance, holding on to faith in the midst of suffering. Job's friends offered advice, each with their own perspective on his plight. They suggested Job had sinned, believing that his suffering was a direct result of his own actions. They urged him to repent, to seek forgiveness for the wrongs they were convinced he had committed. But Job maintained his innocence, standing firm in his belief that he had done nothing to deserve such pain. He knew in his heart he had remained faithful, that his integrity was intact despite the overwhelming adversity. Job's story teaches us about perseverance, about trusting God, even when the reasons for our suffering are unclear. It reminds us that faith is not just about believing when things are going well, but also about holding on when everything seems to be falling apart. Even when life seems unfair and we are surrounded by doubt and despair, we can find strength in our faith just as Job did. Joby. Section 6. Restoration and hope. Finding light at the end of the tunnel. This is a story of resilience, faith, and the unwavering belief in divine justice. In the end, God restored Job's fortunes. After enduring immense suffering and loss, Job's faith never wavered. His patience and trust in God were rewarded. He blessed him more than he could have imagined. Job received double of what he had before. His wealth increased, his family grew, and his life was filled with joy once again. Job's story is a reminder. God sees our suffering. He hears our cries. Even when we feel abandoned, we are never truly alone. Our struggles are seen, and our prayers are heard. Even in the darkest times, there is always hope. The dawn will break, and light will shine through the clouds of despair. We must hold on to our faith and trust in the divine plan. God is with us through it all. He walks beside us in our trials and rejoices with us in our triumphs. Let Job's story inspire us to remain steadfast and hopeful, knowing that restoration and blessings await.